chips? What type of chip do you prefer with your
Yeah,
burger?
I hate Fritos, so those are gross.
What?
Yeah, those are gross. I'm gonna go. You
How
know
can you
what?
hold on? How can you hate America by not liking Fritos?
That's right. Promo UPFront, party in the pit, the mullet, a full podcast.
Oh, say can you see? That's right. It's time for episode number 52 of the Promo UPFront podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the one and only Baron of Barbecues, the Rear Admiral of Ribs, the Tank Commander of the Tube Steak, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing well. I like those nicknames. As I think Terrell Owens once said, "I loves me some meat." I love meat. So the barbecue concept I'm all about. So no, I'm doing really well, actually. I think that during every season of life, you go through ups and downs of level of anxiety, level of peace, and I'm just in a pretty good spot right now. How about you, buddy?
Well, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Glad to hear you're doing well. It sounds like you've had some really magical moments leading into the long holiday, which leads me to something I'd like to talk about, Kirby. I'm not even going to ask you to ask me about it. That's right. Life does come down to moments, Kirby. And if you think back on your life, there are certain moments that stand out far more vividly than others, like meeting your lovely spouse, Amy, graduating from college, or maybe that insight that causes you to change your view of something. These are all important moments, but what I want to talk about today are the moments that one has in life that are centered around the pride of acknowledgement and a company that can help you create them. I'm talking about those moments where people recognize you or have recognized you when you were at your best, when you've drawn on your strength and courage and grit and resilience to accomplish something you didn't think you could. And those are really special moments in life.
Yeah.
I call them kind of moments of pride. They're moments of pride. And that's why a robust employee recognition program is so vitally important. And just as important as we've talked about on this very broadcast, finding the right partner is just as important. And there's no more knowledgeable, capable, and flexible company than J. Charles to help you navigate the sometimes confusing waters of employee recognition. And Kirby, I know you've experienced some of those really beautiful moments of recognition where people recognized you, and it means such a great deal to you, doesn't it?
It does. And it's funny. I think we think of those moments where I remember where I was when, and there are big moments in the nation or in culture. But I think you're right. There are those moments in your life where you remember, that something transformed, that when you were recognized, not only for the accomplishment, but the work that it took to get there. And I think those are things, I can tell you the date on some of those,
Sure.
where, if you receive like the salesperson of the year or something like that, I was like, I remember the year, I remember the date, I remember where I was. And those things stick with you when done right. And that's what J. Charles does.
Yeah, it's about when your work actually elevates the collective, right?
Yeah.
But and that's really well said, Kirby. But why should our listeners take your word for it? They shouldn't, frankly. The statistics don't lie about the benefits when employers are intentional architects of their employees' pride. Companies with a comprehensive recognition program have a 31% lower voluntary turnover rate, according to Burson Associates. 69% of employees would work harder if they felt their efforts were better appreciated. That's from Socialcast, and I love this one. 90% of employees who receive recognition from their boss have high levels of trust in both the individual and the company, and that comes from Forbes. 90%. So distributors right now, today, not tomorrow, not Monday, certainly not the 4th of July, but right now is the time to help your clients create moments for their employees that they serve. Your friends at J. Charles are ready, willing, and able and capable to create that effective and meaningful recognition program to drive engagement and boost productivity. And in the end, all we remember are those powerful moments. Visit J. Charles today to get started and help your clients remember those moments. All right, Kirby, it was a little long, but I liked what we were talking about.
Well, and if I may be so bold, and this again, we're outside of the ad of it, but one of the things I talk about, and this is just a super quick kind of topic, is there is an appreciation gap. You've probably heard me talk about this because I think, when you're talking to prospects or customers or whatever, most leaders think they show appreciation, but most employees feel like they're not being appreciated, and that there's a gap there, right, that needs filled. And so I think that's one of the things that is a worthy topic, whether you're talking about Jay Charles or you're just talking about, look, I want to have a better culture.
No question. No question. And again, no better company than Jay Charles in our industry to help your clients create those intentional moments where those employees swell with pride and they become more productive. All right, Kirby. So we both talked very briefly that we have a bunch of weird little topics we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
It could be a wheels off edition of the firework level podcast we're about to go. I've got the promo upfront section.
Okay. All
right. So I don't know if you saw this. Vistaprint, which is kind of in our industry, they're owned by Simpress, and which owns Gold Star pens, for example. I don't know if you've seen this. They've been tabbed to handle the Washington football team rebrand.
I did see that.
It's a multi-year official design partner. And instead of behind the scenes, like not showing people, they're going to be very transparent. They're going to document the rebranding online at washingtonjourney.com. And at first, when I saw this, I'm like, Vistaprint, what experience do they have? Right. Well, then I realized that they had purchased 99 Designs, which is a design and ad agency that they acquired in October. And they already had a partnership with the Boston Celtics as their jersey sponsor and exclusive marketing and design partner, which sounds so regal. But here's what I liked about it, Kirby. The deal also extends to small business partners in the Washington, D.C. area. The Washington football team and Vistaprint will identify 5 small businesses to feature during their 99 days of design. Each of these 5 small businesses is going to receive a rebrand from Vistaprint, marketing materials, and a $15,000 grant. And they're going to showcase a small business during each of the 8 home games this year in Landover, Maryland at FedEx Field. So it's really genius marketing and goes beyond promo for Vistaprint. You know, the company's really now a full service design agency with a high profile client. So I want to get your thoughts on that. And do you see that as kind of the future of the way our industry is going to go, where it's all going to be kind of wrapped up into one, or is it still going to be separate components?
Yeah, I think that my take on this was watch out. If Vistaprint is able to really do this and do it well, and let me just tell you, based on there's a plan and then there's the execution of said plan, but the plan is solid. Like it's really good. And so if Vistaprint has been building to like this, it was fascinating to watch them when they first started. It's like, we're going to do business cards for $10. And
right.
That is, they're spending, and you're just watching them go, okay, that's customer acquisition. They're
right.
And they're learning. Then all of a sudden they were into promo a little bit, and they're doing a little bit more. Right. I think it can be disconcerting to a degree, but also it's been interesting just from an entrepreneurial standpoint to watch them grow and evolve. When I saw that, I was like, wow, they're going to take over the rebranding for the Washington football team. That's a big ask.
Yeah. You know who they become to me? To me, they're almost the Apple of the print and promo industry because they're very surgically and tactically identifying partners. Instead of trying to emulate them, they are acquiring them. They're acquiring not only the brand at 99 Designs, which is a great brand, but also that expertise in the team. And they become part of Vistaprint. And, you know, we've looked at Vistaprint in the promo world as, well, that's just people uploading a logo and getting a few coffee mugs, so on and so forth. It's going to go far beyond that now. Yeah. So I'm not sure it's disconcerting. I think for some people, it is going to be disconcerting. Yeah. For other people, it's going to be, I want to do that too on the scale I can pull that off. So I think it's really fascinating. And I think Vistaprint as a company name is in for a rebrand themselves.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Vistaprint does not really tell me anymore what it does.
Yeah.
Right. No, and I'll be candid. I get my business cards through Vistaprint. Yeah. It's easy, it's cost effective, it's frictionless, and it's great. Yeah. But you know, it's one of those things. I don't know if it's watch out as much as watch and learn. And I tell you what, they better get moving, because I don't know if you saw this, the U.S. Patent Office rejected the Washington football team's request to have the term Washington football team copyrighted. So they better get moving on that rebrand pretty quick.
Yeah. I like you said, it depends on where you sit on the thing. But when I say watch out, I'm talking about the folks who don't add value.
No question.
Because those folks are going to be in for it. They're running out of places to hide.
At this point, they need to watch out for everything, because as we've talked about on this podcast, the pandemic has accelerated the shift from just putting logos on things to true agency work.
Yep.
And so if you've been in the bleachers and you don't have plans to get in the game and you're not in the game yet, you may just want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to jump in because my topic flows right from this. So
we'll flow it away.
Yeah. So I was having a conversation with another person in the industry, and they've been less active right now, but they were talking to me about, hey, I need to get back into it, whatever. And I said, well, one of the challenges we're having is, with the supply chain. And this person was like, what's going on with that? I was like, I said, wow. So we talked a little bit about it, and it occurred to me that, and I'm going to need your help to kind of fill out my thoughts on this, but it always strikes me when I come across people in our industry who don't listen to any industry podcasts. They don't, try and connect with any industry thought leaders. They don't read blogs. They don't and you go to introduce somebody and you're like, well, Mark Graham. And they're like, no. Like,
right.
What are you talking about? And so,
right.
And I'm always fascinated by that, and how there are people who are able to survive without really doing the work, the studying on our industry and trying to be experts. So and my note was, if you want to beat 4imprint, if you want to compete in any way with 4imprint, you got to do things differently, do things better. How do you think people are going to be able to continue that? Like, can they just blinders on and keep going? Or is this like the bell tower ringing and they're going to exit?
Yeah, I think, if anybody's sticking their head in the sand about issues that impact every aspect of the industry, it's not like, well, that's something I don't have to pay attention to because that really impacts only suppliers, not distributors, or vice versa, or service providers in any event. When you're ignoring things like supply chain, when you're ignoring things like tariffs, when you're ignoring things like the PRO Act, when you're ignoring things that really just permeate every aspect of the promotional products industry, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I
would question that person's definition of success. Right. I'm not going to sit here and say I'd like to see the balance sheet, but in a competitive, in a competitive commoditized industry, the differentiators are the value you add. You and I have talked on this podcast about how important it is. And I think you give me a little bit of credit for kind of pushing you in this direction.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, you need to be talking to your clients today about Q4 products.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the supply chain looks like. I just wrote somewhere today, it's, people are just now realizing that the supply chain is held together by duct tape and baling wire.
Yeah.
And it's so fragile right now. I don't know what Christmas is going to look like in retail, let alone promo. And trust me, retail gets a lot more attention than promo. So if you're not talking to your clients and educating yourself about supply chain, about the PRO Act, about tariffs, about world events, if you're not that impact the industry, you're doing your clients a disservice. I really don't even care about how your business is doing. You're just being irresponsible, in my opinion. And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to wave a big panicky flag, but you're being irresponsible. You're not taking the trust that your clients have given you and embracing that.
Yeah. And in the interest of transparency, the people who are listening to this podcast aren't generally those people, right? Because they are listening to industry podcasts. They're doing, but it's like, I ask people all the time, what are you listening to? What are you reading? How are you evolving? If you're not doing any of it, then why would I choose you?
Absolutely. And maybe this is a good time to share your favorite podcast, which is the Promo UPFront podcast, which can be found on brandeventmarketing.com under the content section of the website. Good topic, Kirby. I like it. So those people insulated from the news. All right, Kirby. We're coming up to Independence Day, and there's few things more American than Hamburger Helper. I think we both agree on that.
I don't even know where to go from there. Hamburger?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I do.
Okay.
So Tasty, if you know the company Tasty, it's owned by BuzzFeed. They are co-branding with Hamburger Helper to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Hamburger Helper brand and diversify BuzzFeed revenue streams. So Tasty is going to release 4 co-branded dry meal kits drawing from various culinary styles. And I didn't realize this, but there's already 250 Tasty co-branded licenses that brought over $250 million in global sales in 2020 for Tasty. Things with Walmart, McCormick, Nestle, and I love this. So they said their choice to partner with Hamburger Helper specifically as a result of what Tasty says. And hold on to your knife and fork. What Tasty says is the modern culinary landscape as younger generations turn to meal kits, not only during the pandemic, but as meal kit and subscription services grow in popularity. The exact quote is, partnering with a cool brand is good for General Mills, which owns Hamburger Helper. Partnering with a cool brand is good for General Mills because it makes them relevant. It gives them some credibility with a community that otherwise would not consider them as a brand. First of all, you and I talk a lot about co-branding just because it's really become prevalent in the last couple of years. Couple of years we started podcasting, I don't think we ever talked about co-branding. And I see it all the time now. But every time I see co-branding, all I see are opportunities for really, really cool merchandise, and so few take advantage of it. And I don't understand why. Why do they not take advantage of these co-branding opportunities where they're driving revenue streams, but by creating merchandise lines? They do it so well in the fast food, quick service area. You know, the Wendy's, the KFC's, the Arby's, the DiGiorno pizza, for crying out loud. Why are they not doing this?
Yeah, I think it's we talk about it a lot, but what I would say is we've actually talked a lot about the merch piece really in the last 12 months. Really, you know what I mean? Like those brands you just mentioned, they are cutting edge on that merch, you know, doing cool swag or whatever. So it's still new. I actually think that more and more, but I mean as a trend. Right? Like it's a trend now. And I think you'll see, and I see more and more of that because there's a hunger for it. And you talked about like building scarcity into it is smart. And so why are they not doing it? That was the question you asked me. I said, I think that people are still coming on to the idea that it's an important piece of a campaign. Yeah. It shouldn't be that long, but it is.
Yeah. I think you're right, but I also think it's a little bit of laziness too, to be honest with you. I don't think it's laziness, not understanding all the possible touch points you can have. When we've seen promotional merchandise be so effective, especially over the past 12 months during the pandemic, to not think of that as a thing. I mean, not that I want a little Hamburger Helper hand, but I bet someone could be very creative and come up with something cool that some people would want, or the Kool-Aid Man, or the Domino's has brought the Noid back for crying out loud.
I noticed that. I saw that.
Or Mr. Peanut. There's so many options, I think, where you could create some really fun merchandise that would really pervade the target audience and really be embraced by it.
Well, and I think what's retro? That's the word I was trying to think, is like, I keep thinking Mr. Peanut. I actually think you could do some really cool t-shirt stuff with that. You'd be like, yeah, it's Mr. Peanut. It's something for my youth or whatever. There's a great book about this called Brandscaping. It's essentially about co-branding, about how brands come together and share audiences and share platforms and create content together. But yeah, I think you're seeing more people do that well. But yes,
not enough.
The next step is merch, I think. I agree
not enough. And I'm still waiting to go to my local Kroger and buy Stay Puffed marshmallows. How did they not ever sell Stay Puffed marshmallows? But that's beside the point. All right, Kirby, you got another topic for us?
Yeah, this one is interesting to me. I'll be curious to see what you think. It says there was a headline on LinkedIn the other day.
Yes,
it
sir.
said, latest recruiting perk is work from home forever. So recruiters are discovering the remote work revolution spurred by the pandemic has altered the process of luring talented workers to new jobs. So essentially the idea is, you know, as people are engaging with work, or they're being asked to come back to work, I think there's been a legitimate pushback. Like, no, we've been able to perform at home. I want to stay at home. And so all of a sudden a recruiting perk is, yeah, no problem. You can work from home forever. So my question to you, to me, when I saw this headline, I was like, well, duh. Like this shows how out of touch so many companies are. And you know me well enough. I don't want to work from home, but I have friends that have been working from home for 15, 20 years. So the idea that all of a sudden that's like some big new thing was surprising to me. You?
Kirby, this may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because you're basically taking something that everybody's been forced to do and packaging it as a perk. Yeah. Most companies honestly don't want all their employees back.
Yeah.
It's more cost effective for them to have people work from home. Not everybody,
Right.
but a lot of people, because you don't need the footprint, the real estate footprint. You don't need, and so I don't think packaging something we are all forced to do 12 months ago as all of a sudden this genius perk. I want a list of those companies and I want to post them somewhere on a website of companies not to work for, because I guarantee you they don't understand employee recognition or engagement the way Jay Charles would. That's for sure.
Well, it's
that's a dumb perk.
Yeah, it is. But one of the things I would say is I've actually been having this conversation, and I'm going to go off a little bit. But I think one of the things we're hearing all the time right now is nobody wants to work. That's why we don't. The labor crisis is right.
Right.
And I think that there is some truth to that leg of the stool. Right. That there are people who don't want to work, and the unemployment benefits are lucrative enough that they don't have to, and all that sort of thing. But I heard somebody say the other day that one of the pieces that they felt was affecting employment were working mothers who don't want to go back. They've over the last year, they've either worked from home or they've been home. And when the choice came back, they're like, you know what? I want to stay home with my kid. And I don't know that I understood the magnitude of the numbers of people like that, but I actually think there's some truth to that.
There is. What I get what the company's trying to do. The companies in question are trying to create the ever elusive work-life balance. Right. Okay. I get that, but there's better ways to do it. Yes, I think you offer it, but not as a perk, as this is what we allow people.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah.
A perk is like going to a 980 schedule. You work 80 hours in 9 days as opposed to 10. So every other Friday you have off, or maybe having everybody work, 12 hours a day and have a 4-day work week or whatever it is. Or maybe give people a month off just as they walk in the door, as opposed to you get 2 weeks off and you got to earn the rest. Right. Or, any number of things that actually create a more balanced life. Think about how happy everybody is today. Today is July 2nd when we drop this podcast. Yeah. 95% of our audience is not working today. Nobody's working on Monday the 5th. That means everybody has 2 4-day weeks, and that's all anybody can talk about. And it doesn't make people less productive. In fact, I would argue they're more productive, so that they can act, because we all work all the time. We're all connected all the time. So everybody's going to try to get everything done by Thursday at 5 so they can truly enjoy Friday and Monday off and enjoy that time. Yeah. I don't know. You're offering a perk that's kind of no shit. Figure something else out. Or here's an idea, maybe talk to your prospective employees and say, what would you like? Yeah. Let's jointly venture and figure out what would work for both of us. Wow, there's a concept.
Yeah. And it's funny how that, I think employers are definitely, and they're really, tone deaf, but I think they're beginning to understand they have to think about it differently. And I think that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
All right. Do we have time for one very quick one, Kirby? Very, very quick.
Absolutely, brother.
Since you are the tank commander of Tube Steaks, I want to know, what is your ideal 4th of July barbecue meal? I'm going to share mine to give you a chance to share what yours is. This is not part of a game. I was just really curious. So when I think of a 4th of July meal, I think you got to do things that are portable, things that allow people to walk around. So it's got to be burgers and dogs. Okay. Got to be burgers and dogs for me. Got to be potato salad. I don't like macaroni salad. I got problems with pasta to begin with. And then when you make it cold and mix it with all sorts of weird gooey stuff, I'm out. So potato salad, chips, always needs to be chips, but they need to be the right chips. On America Day, got to be Fritos. Got to be the corn chip. Okay. I want a side of corn on the cob. Okay. Yep. And a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of butter. And for my beverage, got to be a beer. I think Budweiser or Bud Light has to be an American domestic beer. If you want to go out and be foo-fooey and get your local IPA, I think that's fine too. But Budweiser just screams America. And the last one, Kirby, if I want dessert, a lot of people are going to go for the brownie. No, they're wrong. You
Okay.
go for the popsicle every day of the week and twice on 4th of July. Kirby, what is your ideal 4th of July barbecue meal?
Okay, clearly you have very well thought this out. So I'll give you burgers and dogs.
Okay.
Burgers would be definitely my.
Here, I'll walk you down.
preference.
So side. So burgers your preference. Side dish.
Yeah, I don't enjoy the potato salad or
Okay.
that sort of thing. Amy makes a really nice pasta salad that we do pasta and then do like a vinaigrette. And so it's actually Italian. It's pretty tasty.
Okay. Chips. What type of chip do you prefer with your burger?
I hate Fritos. So those are gross.
What?
Yeah, those are gross. I'm going to go.
Hold on. How can you hate America by not liking Fritos?
Fritos are gross. I'm going to go just some sort of Conn's salt and vinegar.
Okay. I can go with the salt and vinegar. I've got no problem with the salt and vinegar, but I just can't believe you hate America that much about Fritos. All right.
And then,
and maybe what about a vegetable?
I'm definitely all in on the corn on the cob. I mean, growing up, I'm in a fairly rural area. So, I mean, my grandpa grew corn. And so that was a normal thing. And fresh corn on the cob is hard to beat, man.
Absolutely. It's got to be knee high by the 4th of July.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
All right. And last, Kirby, what is your dessert? Oh, well, that's for your beverage. I'm sorry. Your beverage of choice? Yeah,
I'm going to go. So Budweiser's fine. And I get why 4th of July. I'm going to go with a Sam Adams Summer Ale or a Lagunitas IPA. Those are kind of two of my kind of go-tos.
And I'm going to throw in the spicy ranch water, which I've been really enjoying as of late. Very good stuff.
Okay, cool.
All right. And dessert, Kirby?
I think I would have a second IPA.
You know what? That may win the whole argument right there. All right, Kirby, it is now time for the party in the back section. Thank you for playing along there. I think everybody really wanted to know what you and I might be eating on the 4th of July. So we have a game now, and you're going to party us in the back. Let's go.
All right. So this might be unfair, but it will be fun for me for sure. So,
well, that's what it's all about.
You like the Cobra Kai, right?
I love Cobra Kai.
Okay. Well, when's the last time you watched it?
Oh, it's been a while.
Okay. So we have a Cobra Kai quiz.
Why are you testing my knowledge on Cobra Kai? Is it Cobra Kai or the entire Karate Kid franchise?
No, it's Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Cobra Kai. Okay, so it's Cobra Kai, and I was going to do multiple choice, and I was like, screw that shit. I want to make you work. Okay, so I think these are pretty easy, but we'll see, because I was looking at them. So in the Cobra Kai series, who is the first student to join Cobra Kai?
Danny. Something, I don't know.
Miguel is the first person to join.
I don't remember the names. Okay,
all right, I'll help you with the names.
No. You don't have to. No, I just see what this is designed to do and just understand that future games, there will be wrong answers now. Go ahead. Have your fun, Kirby. Fire away.
Yeah, it's not going to get better if you don't know Miguel.
Go ahead. No mercy. Let's go.
Who is Johnny's son?
Johnny's son.
And I'll help you with the name if you can at least tell, like, kind of describe him. How about that?
Johnny's son, he's the kid with the bowl cut.
Yeah, Robbie.
I can't remember. Robbie, of course, Robbie Knievel. Robbie Knievel.
Okay, so you're if you get 40% on this, you're doing great.
Okay.
Where does Daniel LaRusso work?
LaRusso Motors.
Very good, very good. I think it was technically LaRusso cars, but yeah, it's totally. Judges say totally.
Well, hold on. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? It's a weird sound I'm hearing. It's everybody turning off the podcast. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
Okay, cool. What does Daniel name his dojo?
Oh, Miyagi Dojo, Miyagi Do.
Miyagi-Do Karate. Very good. Yeah. Who's the boy with the mohawk with the red dye?
Hawk.
Hawk is right. You're killing it. Yeah.
See?
Total comeback. Who is Miguel and Robbie? Who are they fighting over? What's the girl?
Oh, Priscilla Presley.
So close. Samantha, Daniel's daughter.
Samantha, that's right.
Okay. Now this one you're going to get. What is the mantra? What is the thing of Cobra Kai karate?
Oh, strike first, strike fast, no mercy.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Oh,
but that counts. Totally counts. And okay, so just two more. You're doing great. Really, one more and then a bonus. What is
Okay.
the name of the original sensei of Cobra Kai?
Sergeant Slaughter. Forget his name.
Yes, John Kreese.
John Kreese. Yeah, Sergeant Kreese.
And final question, and there's no wrong way to get this one.
Okay.
Who do you identify more with, Daniel or Johnny?
I am of the belief that actually Daniel LaRusso is the bully in Cobra Kai. I identify more with the other guy, with Johnny.
Well, good job, man. I think you did a great job.
Do you have no comment there?
You know, what I love about
I actually don't believe Danny's the bully. I think they're both ding dongs, quite
yeah,
frankly.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is I love a series because it allows you to dig into sort of the idea that not one person is perfect and one person is completely evil. They're just dudes who are trying to get things right. Daniel's a bit of a hothead, and I think they've done a good job of like showing that negative side, but then going, hey, he's trying to get it right. And Johnny, I think the evolution of Johnny's the best.
Yeah.
So
Daniel-san holds a little bit of a grudge.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, it's just a moment. It's just a moment. But speaking of moments, Kirby,
yeah,
we don't want to talk about those type of moments where people are holding grudge. We want to talk about those moments where employers recognize employees for that hard work, that grit, that determination, that those efforts that raise the entire organization and that causes you as an employee to swell with pride. We love that. And there's no better partner in the industry than Jay Charles to help you come up with that really cohesive, targeted, and effective employee recognition program. We talked about the statistics. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I will say that now is the time to help your clients create those moments for the employees that they serve. It's an amazing thing to have a company like Jay Charles to help you navigate those sometimes confusing waters of employee recognition. So, and like I said earlier in the end, all we remember are those moments, and Jay Charles can help you and your clients create those moments for those employees. So visit jcharles.com today to get started. Kirby, I don't know about you, but I enjoyed episode number 52 of the Promo UPFront podcast. And now I'm going to go cry in my bag of Cheetos, or not Cheetos, my bag of Fritos, because you don't like the corn chip.
Yeah, Cheetos are gross too.